Om Ashato Ma Sadgamaya Tamasho Ma Jyotirgamaya Mriturma Amritangamaya Abir Maidhi Rudro Yatte Dakshinang Mukham Te Namang Pahi Nityam Te Namang Pahi Nityam Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light and illumination. Lead us from death to immortality. And evermore shine in our hearts with your resplendent face. Peace, peace, peace be unto us all. So we are back to our reading of the Shanti Gita, the song of peace given by Bhagavan Krishna to Arjuna second time when his son Parikshit was killed and he was bereaved and grieved very much. And here in the second chapter, the advice was this, that when the mind, impure mind, thinks that the world is my own, impure mind thinks that I am a created being and everything is me and mine. So, when that impure mind becomes pure, we have read in the verse number 10, we'll start today from 15, verse 15. But we have read it just to connect with our previous reading. We have read that with the intention to please God, renouncing desires and resolutions, performing one's own duty in coordination with the devotion and faith, carrying out regular and periodic responsibilities and duties, and all offering all actions to Brahman, the Supreme Self, even visiting the temples and places of pilgrimage and serving in those places. Purification of the heart happens gradually. So this is the purification which needs to be in the heart so that pure mind will then arise. And that verse 11 says, the mind has become impure by evil deeds, sinful deeds. When it is cleansed by meritorious deeds, then the same mind then becomes pure and giving up its defects or impurities. Now when the mind becomes pure, what happens? That has been mentioned in the verse number 12. It has been said, when it is purified, the mind generates this capacity to analyze what is right, what is wrong. The faculty of discrimination comes, that is born. And then one becomes engaged in deliberation about what is real and what is unreal. So when the mind becomes pure, it does not dwell on the world of duality. More, it analyzes the permanent, impermanent, the ultimate reality. That capacity, it generates, tremendous capacity generates in the heart, pure mind, and giving the power to separate out these two. And what is that? More clearly has been mentioned in verse number 13, that Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Viveka Dhrita Nishchaya Tato Vairagyam Ashakte Stago Mithyatmake Shucha. When Brahman is real and the world is unreal, this type of analysis or discernment continues, then there out of it comes a firm conviction. What is the conviction? Yes, Brahman is the reality and the world is unreal. From that discernment arises a dispassion. naturally. It is not a passive sensation that or mental mood comes, but it has its effect. When from that discernment arises dispassion. And dispassion for what? And that power, a tremendous power. What that dispassion does? It forces one to renounce the sense objects, which are totally false. So tremendous power to renounce, that capacity, that force, that mind then tends towards total renunciation. That is the point. Here Sri Krishna says that this purified mind, then viveka will come, viveka discrimination. And what is discrimination? God is only real, as Ramakrishna said, everything is unreal. So Brahman is real and everything is unreal. And if that is so, next step comes, the power comes to get out or give up what is unreal. We discuss, we analyze, we talk, but our attachment for the world remains the same. No improvement in that area. But when really the mind becomes pure, it will have the power to throw away things which are impermanent. And attitude will be there, it will be not pleasing at all. So the 14th verse, that's why we read this last time. When this dispassion arises, the attitude comes, the objects and acts of enjoyment. The objects of enjoyment there and the activity that fulfills those enjoyment, both will appear like a poison. That's called tibra vairagya. That is the tibra vairagya comes when mind becomes pure and this detachment comes spontaneously, and it is so powerful that it gives an ordinary person the sense of total rejection. And mind finds no sense of attraction at all. And as a result, the most loved things which people used to love, which they thought it was giving me joy, looking at that, they feel it is a pain, it is a suffering. So they revolt against it. Wealth, people like wealth, prosperity. When the wealth, seeing that wealth, that devotee or that spiritual aspirant seems to be he will see the wealth, money, it's like tormentor of the heart. Like Ramakrishna's example we talked about last time. The Marwari wanted to give 10,000 rupees these days, and Ramakrishna felt a pain, aversion, tremendous renunciation. It will not please that, someone is giving money, it will be in some good cause, I will utilize for this good purpose. That is our mind. But a person of total renunciation feels that you will feel the pain of seeing such wealth or objects of enjoyment. Money appears to be a killer. Sons and daughters which are so dear, they will seem to be as if they are my enemies in my spiritual path, because that is bringing me an attachment. So they're talking in a high level of purity of the mind, and these are the outcome. Sri Krishna says, friends, they seem to be scorcher like the sun. Friends are very happy. We are very happy when we see our friends and smile and dance and sing. But that pure mind, when it comes, even the dearest friend, that will be not at all attractive. Rather, they will seem as if to scorch the heart. Home, full of relatives, appears like a desolate forest, and it is not a very enjoyable place. The whole body of well-wishers will appear like a deep, dark well. That means such a tremendous renunciation comes. Everything which is pleasing for the people who are in life, for them everything is disgusting. Everything is just destroying the inner peace. They want to be away from them. A dispassionate person, having renounced all these things, will adhere to engaging himself in his own welfare, that means spiritual goal, attaining the eternal bliss. This detachment is not negative. If it is negative, then it is really bad. But this detachment is for world, but they instantly get attached to what is the divine, what is bliss. That means attachment to God, detachment to the world. And when perfect renunciation comes, perfect attachment to God, naturally, perfectly, totally renouncing everything that which is material or mundane and which is changeful. Now 15th verse is our reading today. We start. Now, if that renunciation does not come, then what happens? That becomes the life of a worldly person. As millions and billions of us we live in ignorance, that will be the spontaneous behavior of people like them. They are giving the person of total renunciation. They only find bliss in God and divine. And these people who are totally attached, the world, they only cry. Being in the world every day, their joy is in crying, ha ha, why this has happened, and they cry for their loss and gain. That's why 15th verse is a big verse, about 7-8 lines. It says, Bhoga sakta pramugdha satata dhana para brahmamana jatecham dara patyadi rakta nija janabharane vyagrochitta vishanna lapse aham kutra darbham smaranam manudinam chintaya vakulatma ha ha loka vimudha sukharasa vimukha kevala dukkhavaraha. Giving a grim picture of the people who are attached to the world. What happens? Bhoga shakta pramugdha, attached to the worldly pleasures. Pramugdha means deeply bewildered in that worldly attachment. Satato dhanapara, always running after collection of money, wealth, prosperity. Roaming around in the world, jatichya, whimsically. So attached to the worldly enjoyment, they deeply and bewildered in mind, they are always running after wealth, money, prosperity, roam around whimsically, being attached to lust, children, relative. Their mind is always full of anxiously engaged, vyagrochitta, vishanna, anxiously engaged in the maintenance of their own family members, and vishanna, being depressed, and lapse aham kutra darbham, ever anudinam chintaya vyakulatma. They are restless and confounded, thinking day and night. What they think? Where can I procure something? Even a little worthless, meaningless grass. Worldly people, thus, ha ha loka, ha 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 ha, every day crying, I am at loss, I am at loss, ha, my life is gone. Where my entire energy is gone, I have no money, I have not this, I have not that. This type of frustration, this only vishannaha, vyagrochitta. These people, they are confused And what happens? Sukha rasa vimukha. Their face is turned away from sukha, the happiness, the rasa, the joy which is available within. Being deprived from that, the nectar of happiness, turning away from the nectar of happiness, what they do? Vimura dukkha bharaha. Carry only a load of suffering. Bhar means what you carry, weight. They only carry the weight of suffering and cry out, ha, 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 ha. Meaning, what a loss, my life is miserable, who can help me? But the point is giving a grim picture in both sides, because here we have to understand that the teacher is Lord Krishna and the student it was Arjuna. It is not ordinary level of teaching. Many of the audience who are listening to that, it will appear very rude, very unkind this way, because we are we to look after our wife, children, home, family in this way to become spiritual? That question will come. But we have to understand, he is not talking of the student like us who are not that pure in mind. Mind is not so intoxicated in God. Mind is not established in such a reasoning state of discernment that the viveka has awakened in them in such intensity that their mind is totally turned towards God. Nothing pleases them. Only God and God alone. This is one category of people. For them, this is the way they look up the money, wealth, prosperity, name, fame, people's behavior, all this attainment of life, the success of life. And this is one side. On the contrary, we the ordinary people who live a life, this whole life is running for procuring money, having a pleasurable life, little comfort, little happiness, nothing wrong. But end result is this, doing this only we increase our suffering and pain. That's why this verse is little strong and give a grim picture of the people who are not drawn towards the nectar of divine love and who are drawn to the joys and fun of the sensate universe. As Vedanta teaches us, the joy, Brahman is everywhere, Satchidananda is everywhere. So everywhere there is a touch of joy. But it is covered with name and form, and my mind, particularly clouded mind, darker mind. So the light, the joy which is inside does not manifest in that intensity. Whereas a perfectly detached person, when he detaches from the apparent name and form and attractive objects, they see the divine inside. Therefore they swim in the bliss of God consciousness. They always swim in joy because they see joy everywhere. But otherwise this is the condition, bhoga sakta pramugdha, being attached to the worldly enjoyment, pramugdha, being bewildered, satatu dhanapara, always running after wealth and money, brahmamana jaticham, roaming around whimsically, dara patyadi rakta, being attached to wife, husband, child, children, relative, etc. Nijo bharane vyagra chitta, mind anxiously engaged only to bharan, means for the stomach, feeling of the stomach, and the enjoyments of little enjoyments which the life can bring. Anxiously engaged in one's own maintenance of one's own body and also family members. And lapse aham, even the world is so rude and unkind. Though you search for that, you labor hard, but you don't get a touch of bliss. You don't find joy. And you become always searching more and more and more. So always they become depressed, ever restless and confounded. And they think day and night, where shall I procure something, more money, more, even it is meaningless, worthless, but still they think, when shall I get it? How shall I get it? These worldly people, that is the nature of the worldly people. They are as if carried out by their force of their samskaras, and they turning away from the nectar of happiness. They are always day and night, they are what they are doing, carrying a load of suffering and crying out at a depressed mood, saying, ha, 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 what is my life? Who will save me? Who will protect me? This type of thought. Now 16. Next verse. Brahmadi stamba parjantam vastu sarvam jugupshitam shuno mishta samang tyajang bhogo vasanaya saha. Brahmadi stamba parjantam. From Brahman to a blade of grass. Brahmadi stamba parjantam. Sarvam vastu. All objects. Every object. Sarva vastum. Jugupsitam. Is disgusting. For them, anything, even the position of Brahma, who is the creator God, that position, people, we how much we feel our position. I am the CEO of this, I am the president of this institution, I am the head of this group. All with this little ego, we find so much pleasure, or we crave for. The whole world is a competition of going from one level to the other level, to the higher level, to the higher level. But even you go to the highest level, and that highest level is Brahma, the creator God, from which the whole universe has come out. From that point, this person will have a spirit of feeling of detachment. It is no meaning for him. That is a purified mind. So Brahmadi stamba parjantam vastu sarvang jugupsitam. We are not talking about ordinary people. Don't make a mistake that you and me will have to do today. They follow this. That's why it is called in the scripture. You have to understand for which type of student this message is. We will have to understand that it is for a very, very high quality student whose heart is so pure and he has the capacity to renounce, to detach, to put no value to the high position of Brahma, to the blade of grass, stamba parjantam. A piece of wood has no value. So starting from there to this Brahmadi stamba parjantam, vastu sarvam, whatever object we see, all vastu, jugupshitam is disgusting. Like Ramakrishna. Nothing pleases him. People are touching with the coin, he is recoiling from there. Anything of temptation, Mathur Babu trying to pull his mind into the normal plane, and he is recoiling. His awareness in such a level. So these things cannot be understood without these examples of Ramakrishna-like people. So, Shuno Vishta Samam Tajjam. He's giving a disgusting, what disgusting? Like a dog excreta. Dog excreta, people renounces, tries to throw away. So it is no charming for a spiritual person like that, who is really purified in heart, totally clean in their heart. They will feel this whole attractive universe, from the position, high position to low position, wealth, prosperity, name, power, whatever is charming to us, the ordinary people. This will be totally disgusting, like dog excreta, suno vishtasamam tejjam. How they will give up? Bhogo vasanaya saho. What the question of enjoyment? The question of enjoyment does not come, because no one enjoys that type of object in the world. If someone collects some dog excreta, there is nothing to enjoy in that dog excreta. So, meaning, this Shastra, Sri Krishna is giving an example that it is so powerful, that is describing the mind of a person, highly spiritual person, what is like that. We don't understand, as I said, unless we had the life of Ramakrishna before us. And direct disciples' life also we find the same type of. We know in the Bhagavad, what is called the Katha Upanishad, when Nachiketa went to Jama's house, and he's a practical demonstration. When the Jama tempted him or wanted to give him Bhumer Mahadayatanam, I will give you land, an emperor with huge property, huge land, no? Mahat ayatanam, a big expanse, no? And I will make you live for 100 years. You like 100 more? Okay, I will give that. I will live the life of immortal life. I will give you that power that when you wish you will die, otherwise you will not die. Amar. Or I will give all the joys and fun which is available, even impossible to have in the human plane, or even available to the gods and angels. I will give all this. But ma purotsi, don't question me about that supreme truth. You are a young boy, enjoy all these things. But see the power of the Nachiketa's mental strength. He has the courage and say, it is not out of disrespect, but it is his own calling, this verse. It is like dog excreta. What he said? He said, Nachiketa said, Tabaiva baha tabo nritya gite. O king, O god of death, you are tempting me with this singing and dancing and enjoying this, that. Please, please keep them with you. Tell me the truth, ultimate truth, what is beyond. So this is the state of mind. We may talk big things, but little temptation comes, we succumb to that. But there are people whose mind is so pure, when the temptation comes, the world appears totally different. Once Swamiji was asked that the story is there. So, if anyone, he said that, Swami, if any woman looks at you and loves you, what will happen? He said, that face will appear to me like that of what? Like that of what? I forgot.
Green frog.
Like a frog. And frog is not much attractive to see. See, it is a spontaneous statement. That means if someone looks with that attitude, that face, which is charming, which will be so lovely, but to the discerning mind, pure, discriminating mind, it appears non-attractive. It has no attention, no attachment, no attraction at all. It is to be given up like that. So here we find that type of student he's talking about. So it is the tremendous renunciation when it comes. Then from Brahma to a blade of Brahma, the Stamba Purjantam, to a blade of grass, Vastu Sarvang Jugupsitam, all the objects appear to be disgusting. What disgusts him? Shuno Vishtasamam, like dog excreta. Therefore, Tyajam, they are to be renounced, rejected, along with what? Bhogo Vasanayasaha. What is the question of enjoying? Before enjoyment, mind becomes so dispassionate. So the vasana also goes away. Even the desire, subtle. Vasana is a subtle thing. Enjoyment is a gross thing. But he is saying vasana, enjoyment, what is the question of enjoyment? Even the root cause, which is the vasana, the desire, that will also wipe out. There is no space for them, for this type of people. 17 verse. No deti vasana bhoge ghrina banta shane yatha tata samadamo chaiva mana indriya nigraha. No deti vasana bhoge. Vasana bhoge, the sense enjoyments, the desire, vasana, in the bhoga, by sense enjoyments, na udeti. In their mind, that thought never arises. They cannot think of that. So pure. Grina banta sani yatha. Rather, they feel grina. They feel hatred. Hatred for bantasani, as one will feel disgusted when they say some vomited food comes out, no? When indigestion causes and we vomit. Anyone finds interest in eating them? So giving a very gross example. He's saying no udeti vasana, even the vasana, little desire, in enjoyment of these things does not arise in the heart of such a pure soul. Bantasani jata, as we feel disgusted, we feel least attached, or we feel dejected and rejected in having those types of enjoyment. Therefore, desires for sense enjoyment do not arise when one feels they are eating like a disgusting as eating, vomiting food. Therefore, what they do, tata samo damo chaiva mana indriya nigraha. Next verse says, titiksha uparateschaiva samadhanam tata param shraddha sruti gurur vakki vishyasa satya nishchaya. So thereafter, so if this is the condition, desire for sense enjoyments are not arising in their mind. When one feels they are disgusting, like one is eating the vomited food, so thereafter what will happen? Tata samadamo chaiva. Thereafter, by practice of the control of mind and senses, samadama. What is sama? Sama is the control of the mind. Dhamma is the senses, sense organs. Shama Dhamma. That is, mind is peaceful and senses are touching the sense objects, but mind is not connecting that way. So the practice of Sama, practice of Dhamma, Sama Dhamma, Titiksha, Uparati, desisting from worldly enjoyments and actions, endurance, Samadhanam tata param, followed by the equanimity of the mind. Samadhan, mind is equanimity. All this practice comes faith. Baba, who will be fit candidate for these things? No. Spirituality we think so easy. Jnana is easy because I am Brahman, I am Brahman. It's very simple, I am Brahman. But it is true, Brahman, I am true. But we have to understand where we are. What is my mental condition? How I am impure in my mind, how my mind is running for the objects of the senses, how I am uncontrolled in my senses, in my mind, in my samadhana, the balancing. It is without this rigorous practice for a long time, the purity will not come. And if the mind is not pure, mind will not move in that direction. It is both dependence on one on other. If you say, I will be perfect, then I will be seeing God. One day it will not come, so practice samadhana, this, that. But if one does not pay attention to what he has said, that you are growing in spirituality means, are you feeling the point which has been mentioned, what ordinary people live like in the verse 15 we have talked about, that they become attached to the worldly enjoyment, they behave like that, bewildered, always running after money, running after wealth, prosperity, and also me and my family like that. And it's gaining, running and not reaching any peace. That type of person cannot do anything. But who can do? Whose mind is totally analyzing Brahma Sattam, Jagan Mithya, and everything in this world is meaningless, but still I cannot do that, but I feel detached from that. I don't feel interest in that. If that has not come, spirituality does not manifest. We do practice, we are doing that, but we sometimes miss these very fundamental points. How much attention is to be given, that it is practice of titiksha, upurati, all this sama, dhamma, mana, manonigraha, indriya nigraha, shraddha in Guru's word, shraddha in the words of Upanishad, Shruti, and Vishwasa, shraddha and Vishwasa, both. Shraddha means faith, and Vishwasa is trust and faith. Shraddha and Vishwasa. Sattva nishchayat. For the firm conviction of the truth. This grounding is very important. Which we see, as I say, cooking is also not that much time it takes, but preparation takes long time. First planning what food, then calculating the quantity of the items we need, going to the shopping place and then finding this and there and there and there, then bringing them, washing them, cleaning them, chopping them and making it prepare. And then cooking also takes so much time. But what happens? Eating does not take much time. So we only hear Vedantic so many statements, we think that it is so easy. What is there? Some people say, I am Brahman. So I am not to do anything. One brahmachari came and he studied Vedanta, meditated, prayed, did some puja, chanting, learned everything. And one day he said, Swami, I am going. Well, why? Why are you going? I have achieved everything. I know I am Brahman. I am Brahman and this world is this. It is nothing. But I am to do nothing. I understand all this and I am there. So he went back to have some job outside because he is Brahman. I know that Brahman is Brahman. Whatever you do this or that, it does not change anything. See how we can easily get deluded into this type of misconception that it is only not saying, but this sadhana, samo, dhamma, mano, indriya, nigraha, titiksha, sahanang sarva dukkhanam apratikara purvakam. Shankara says, no, titiksha, sahanang sarva dukkhanang, all types of suffering, sahan, sajja, enduring all types of suffering, sahanang sarva dukkhanam, apratikara purvakam, even not resisting to cure, to mend the problem. It happened, let it go on. That's the highest definition of titiksha. And where we are so intolerant, even for a split second. So it is so nothing, it is not to be, we should not feel that we are worthless. But it shows us the intensity of practice is necessary. We have to make ourselves powerful by going to the instructions of the scriptures which has been given. It is the age-old traditional path. No one have realized God without having this, taking care of that. This can be taken care in Vedanta path this way, and Bhakti path it can be connected. I love God. Finished. I love God so much, automatically mind does not go anywhere. My senses don't go into the objects of immediate things to delude me. I love God and I don't like anything. So it's the same thing. But here emphasis is there, who is the follower of path of Vedanta or Viveka Vairagya. So those will have to pay attention to this. Not that I read in a book. There is nothing to learn more in Vedanta. In one class, one student can know about Vedanta, the essence of Vedanta. Brahma Sattam, Jaganmatha, Jiva Brahmaiva Napara. Finish. This is the Srokardhina Pravakshami. Shankara says, and I understand that. And if you understand, we can quote what Ramakrishna said. What is there in your Vedanta? To Turiyananda? What say Turiyananda? What he said? What is there in your Vedanta? Brahman alone is real and everything is false. Is there anything more? So Brahma Sattam, Brahman alone is real. Jagan Mitha, this Jagat, this world is transitory, changing. Jagan Mitha. But who is Jiva? Jiva is not Jiva. Jiva is Brahman itself. So, know this. But know this is so easy. Just hear and know. So this is the point. Attention is to be given because our deep-rooted attachment for the world, for our name, our ego, our pride, all the vices which comes out of ignorance. We are filled with that. So careful, we should be careful to have this attention and careful to this correcting ourselves, so that ultimately Shraddha and Guru Vakya Vishwasa. Lastly, this Vedanta is also very important. Guru Vakya Vishwasa. Guru said, God is there, God can be realized. Repeat this mantra, chant this thing, correct yourself, improve your life, don't see fault with others, don't always look after others' things, pay attention to your thing. But no, I know what I care for anything. So this is not the way what scripture suggests. It is Shastra Vakya and Guru Vakya, that is Vishwas. Why? Sattva Nishchayat. For the confirming the truth. These are the means. So desires for sense enjoyments do not arise when one feels they are disgusting as eating, vomiting food. Thereafter, by practice of the control of mind and senses, samadama, endurance, titiksha, desisting from any worldly enjoyment and action, titiksha and samadhana, followed by equanimity of mind, that is the desisting from any worldly enjoyment and actions, and followed by equanimity of mind, there comes what? Comes faith. Unless one practices this, faith will not come in this Shruti, in the Upanishad, in the Guru's words. Says Gurus, our Gurus have said many things, but why it is not manifesting in our life? After so many years, 20, 30, 40 years, 50 years. Why it is not manifesting? Because we are not probably paying much attention to this. We should be waking up to pay attention what this Shraddha. Why Shraddha is not coming? Why Shraddha, faith and trust? Why that pure mind is not developed? Why it is not telling us that it is available, it is in your door, it is knocking at your door. Follow that. These are all confirmed truth. So this is the thought we should have to carry on. 19. Samsaro granthi vedeno muktum ichha mumukshata etat sadhana sampanno jiggashur gurumasrayet. Now he's talking about mumukshata. What is mumukshata? What is shama, dhamma, titiksha, upurati, shraddha, samadhan, samadhi, sataka sampatti, mumukshata. Viveka, vairagya, samadhi, sat sampatti, and mumukshata. These are the four major practice in Vedanta. So we have talked about viveka by action, selfless action, by prayer and bhakti upasana, by doing everything and offering to God. All these principles will make viveka awake more, and mind will be pure. Viveka, then will come vairagya. Vairagya means detachment, disgust for the objects which are temporary, and love for that which is eternal Brahman. Viveka, vairagya. And then he's just talked about this sama and dhamma in these verses, and now he's talking about the mumukshata. The fourth point, mumukshata. What is mumukshata? Mukti michha. I am in bondage. I want to be free. Unless this understanding comes, this understanding must have to come that I am in bondage. Why shall I make any effort to be free? I am happy. Many people say that I have no problem. Why are you talking about so much unrest, so much suffering, so much pain in the world? I am quite happy. True, if they are happy, this book is not to be read by them, need not have to listen to that. This is not for them. So those are really mumukshu. Mumukshu means first condition that I want to be free, mukti ichha. Samsara granthi vedena. This is a granthi. Granthi means the gut, a tie, knot. Chit jara granthi. Chaitanya, consciousness, and jara. Jara and Chaitanya, they have been intertwined. As a result, what is Chaitanya that is appearing as jara means non-existence. It is not there as if. And what is reality appearing as nothing. What is appearing, that is true, and what is true, that is not there. In our vision, we don't see God anywhere. We only see the jara, the matter part. But matter part is animated by consciousness. We don't look at that side. So it is said, samsara granthi vedena, by breaking these knots of the worldly bondage. This is the worldly bondage. World has not come really with a Swami Vivekananda says, the song of the sannyasin. You are holding this world. Just let go. Give up that. So that is this samsara granthi vedana, by breaking the knots of the worldly bondage, that we want for liberation. I want to be liberated. That desire. I am not able, but I feel that I am in bondage. Those who feel I am happy, I am quite good. So for them there is no need. That is called the mumukshatva, mumukshuta. The mumukshuta, mukti ichha. Etat sadhana sampanna, one who is endowed with this type of practices, jiggashu, he will be then jiggashu. And then next work will be, he will go to the Guru. Jiggasuhu Gurum Asrayat. Then he will really go to Guru for taking shelter at the Guru and then work under the guidance of the teacher. So we end here and today, and then we'll read from verse number 20 next time. But we have some few minutes. After I close it, then we can have some question answer, if anyone have any question. Otherwise, we will see you next time. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. So no question, so it's very good news. There is no question, so we'll see you tomorrow maybe. Tomorrow is no? Tomorrow is what?
Gospel.
Gospel class of no. Tomorrow my class, okay. So tomorrow we'll read Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna at 7:30. So hope to see you then. Okay. Jai Ma. Thank you all.